DMZ, North Korea. In full view of a North Korean-occupied guard tower, Duke Channing Tatum, Roadblock Dwayne Johnson, and Flint DJ Cotrona are scaling a security fence. While Mouse Joseph Motzello is acting as a backup sniper, Lady J. Adrienne Politsky is keeping a close eye on things. The woven wire fence is melted by the superheated gloves that Roadblock uses to allow the guys through. On command, Mouse fires a coffee mug from one of the guards' hands to create a distraction, and the three quickly make their way to their objectives. A man is captured or rescued from the back of a truck by Roadblock and Duke when they go to a location with some buildings and vehicles. Flint, meanwhile, has gone directly to the guard tower and changed the flag from North Korea to the G.I.Joes. There's a brief narration explaining how the Joes caught Cobra Commander Luke Bracey and Destro in the previous film, and they are now locked in a maximum security prison. Storm Shadow Byung-hun Lee and Zartan Arnold Vosloo are still at large. Duke is the captain, charged with leading Roadblock, Flint J, and the masked mute Snake Eyes Ray Park. Note: no mention is made of the Baroness, whom is presumed to be still incarcerated. Duke and Roadblock are playing video games at Roadblock's house after finishing their assignment in Korea. Duke is playfully jumped on by Roadblock's two young kids, which causes him to stop playing the game and engage in combat with them. Duke and Roadblock pause briefly to watch a news story on television about the Pakistani president having been assassinated. Jonathan Pryce's character, Zartan Arnold Vosloo, who is posing as the American president, meets with his advisors to get their advice on what the country should do about the situation in Pakistan. A general in the Pentagon advises entering. The advice of a civilian advisor is to wait it out. The president of Zartan makes the decision to dispatch the G.I.Joes to Pakistan in order to seize and destroy a nuclear device that the government had created, preventing the assassins from using it. The Joe family visits Pakistan. They are brought down onto the roof of the structure housing the weapon. They spread out quickly, find the weapon on the first floor, and begin firing their way into and down the 4 levels of the building. They quickly seize possession of the structure and the weapon, transporting it outside of the nation. Duke seeks confirmation from the White House. Zartan walks into the Cobra's underground lair, where they are keeping the true president hidden. By drawing a knife across his face, Zartan mocks the president and demonstrates the nanomites that maintain his disguise in place. The skin turns a different color, but it rapidly recovers. According to Zartan, Americans prefer a president who not only looks like the real one, but also acts as Zartan does, bold, aggressive, and fond of blowing things up. The men suddenly spot many attack helicopters arriving and speculate that perhaps there is more security. The helicopters, on the other hand, start firing and dropping bombs on the Joes. They kill many people while destroying every car. The team rushes for cover while retaliating. Duke leaps in to save Flint, but an explosion claims his life. Roadblock, Flint, and Jay are able to evade capture by hiding in a deep water well. President Zartan addresses the country about the incident the following morning as the three tries to climb out of the well. The Joes, according to him, attacked Pakistan and stole a nuclear weapon. Additionally, he charges Snake Eyes with killing the president of Pakistan. Due to all of their transgressions, Zartan declares on television that the G.I.Joes have been eliminated. Roadblock, Flint, and Jay finally get out of the water well. As the only surviving Joes, they take off on foot across the desert, set on exacting revenge for their dead. Snake Eyes has been taken prisoner and is currently being transported to a high-security facility in Germany to join Cobra Commander and Destro. Warden James Walton Goggins escorts him to a chamber located deep down, where he is put inside a tube with a liquid medium that paralyzes every portion of the body but leaves the heart and eyes still able to beat. It is actually Storm Shadow, not Snake Eyes, as James reveals after saying "Welcome to Hell" and taking off Snake Eyes' mask. Firefly, a Cobra mercenary played by Ray Stevenson, speeds up to the facility and releases tiny explosive fireflies to break in. After being thrown in the chamber, Storm Shadow causes his heart to stop in order to alert the guards to what is going on. He is able to escape and kill the majority of the security personnel. Cobra Commander is broken out of his chamber, but they leave Destro because they believe he has left the gang. Firefly joins them just as James shoots a gas chamber, setting off an explosion. The commander kills James, and Storm Shadow's back is severely burned by the explosion's flames. Cobra Commander directs that Storm Shadow be taken to a temple high in the Himalayas to recover from his injuries. When the blind Master Urza, head of the Arashikage clan, learns that Storm Shadow is still alive, he dispatches the real Snake Eyes Ray Park and his apprentice Jinx Elodie Young, Storm Shadow's cousin, to Tokyo in order to capture Storm Shadow and force him to reveal Cobra's schemes as well as to take responsibility for the killing of his uncle, the Hard Master. The bad guys visit an industrial complex where Zeus, a large weapon, is being built. When Cobra Commander enters, President Zartan informs him of the 3 Joes who are still alive. They'll be taken care of, according to Firefly. Roadblock, Flint, and Jay drop by Roadblock's old neighborhood. They take shelter in an old gym or arcade that he used to frequent. When President Zartan declares that Cobra will take the place of the Joes as America's primary defense force, Lady J performs some technical research comparing the known president's speech pattern and mannerisms with those of the suspected imposter, concluding that the genuine president is being impersonated. When Flint asks Roadblock who they can possibly trust in the government right now, he says that he knows one man. Roadblock leads them to the home of General Joseph Colton Bruce Willis, the original G.I.Joe. Roadblock explains the situation after showing Colton the dog tags of their fallen brothers. Together, they come up with a plan to prove that the president is a phony. They receive firearms from Colton, who also aids them in breaking into a fundraiser that the president will be attending. By stealing a sample of the president's DNA, Lady J is able to prove that he is Zartan. After briefly squabbling with Firefly and Xandar Matt Gerald, the leader of the presidential detail and a Cobra member, they manage to flee. A member on the president's detail notices Jay when she steps outside and appears to be jogging home with her goods. Roadblock convinces him to provide them a path to the president when she tricks him into assisting her with her shopping. Snake Eyes and Jinx have discovered the facility where Storm Shadow is receiving care high in the Himalayas. After being treated by an elderly woman, he witnesses many ninjas plummeting through the window from tremendous heights as he gets dressed and takes off his bandages. He encounters Snake Eyes in the hallway as he dashes outside to investigate what is happening. They battle as Jinx enters the other room and clashes with the elderly woman. After some ferocious combat, the old woman and Storm Shadow are brought under control. Storm Shadow is put into a corpse bag by Snake Eyes and Jinx, who then tie the bag to a rope. Jay enters the fundraiser that President Zartan is going to while posing as one of the president's detail. She enters wearing a seductive red dress, attracting Zartan's attention. Another Cobra ally, one of his men, becomes suspicious and begins to analyze Jay's face. After taking a hair sample off Zartan's coat and sending it to Roadblock, she exits. They discover Zartan's identity after scanning the sample, just as Firefly enters and initiates an attack. He battles Roadblock and is on the verge of killing him when Flint and Jay pass by and slam their truck into him. Firefly leaves right away. In the gym or arcade, Snake Eyes, Jinx, and Storm Shadow come across the Joes, who are initially suspicious, but they join forces. They go back to Colton's place and meet with some of Colton's men to come up with a plan to stop Cobra's plans. Zartan invites the heads of the nuclear-armed states to a summit at Fort Sumter, where he uses the detonation of America's nuclear weapons as a kind of blackmail to force them to give up their nuclear weapons. This is done to demonstrate his dedication to nuclear disarmament. The other world leaders had also fired their missiles before doing likewise and shooting them down. Then, Zartan discloses that he has developed Project Zeus, a collection of 7 orbital kinetic bombardment weapons that are under his control. They fire one rod at London, nearly entirely destroying it and sparking panic among the other world leaders. If the leaders refuse to submit to Cobra, he threatens to destroy the other capitals. Cobra has now formally taken control of the White House. By killing Zartan and betraying Cobra Commander, Storm Shadow exposes Cobra's lie to the world's rulers. Cobra Commander activates the other 6 guns and gives Firefly instructions to guard the suitcase holding the launch device while Snake Eyes, Jinx, and Flint engage Cobra's forces in combat. Roadblock engages Firefly in combat before deactivating and destroying the orbital weapons. The real president is put back into power and addresses the nation at a ceremony where Roadblock, Jay, Flint, Jinx, and Snake Eyes are commemorated as heroes. Colton thanks each of them, but when he gets to Roadblock, he presents him with a M1911 pistol that belonged to General George S. Patton, to use when he finally finds Cobra Commander. Roadblock proudly raises the weapon and lets out a single shot in honor of his fallen comrades. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.